Do you hear that? That rumble on that track? What's that noise? Chugga, 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 choo choo! That's right, that's the hype train, my friends. Welcome aboard the RG Express. This is our return to the sausage tray. We've been gone for, I guess, technically 2 weeks now. Do it.
Yeah, we skipped one
because we skipped the cycle, and last week was hard to play.
Yeah.
But Sausage Tray is our bi-weekly podcast that we alternate with Hard at Play, which is our video game focused podcast. Sausage Tray is more of an open discussion, just fun time having. But before we actually get into what we're going to talk about today, I think we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping.
Yep.
Throw it over to Justin.
All right. My name is Justin. This is Eric, and that is Josh.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That is part of housekeeping.
Yeah, that's part of housekeeping.
Okay, yeah. Just so we have everything in order. So yeah, just a couple of things we want to go over today before we dive into our podcast, which we're excited about, because today, like Josh said, we're going to be talking about hype, and we're pretty...
You can say we're hyped about the hype.
Yes.
Choo choo.
And he insisted on that joke. So just want to remind you guys that this does go up on Fridays, like just Josh said. We rotate every Friday with the Hard at Play podcast that we do for video games. On Mondays, our content that we put out for you fine people are our Let's Play videos. This past Monday, you probably saw our Castle Crashers 2. It was funny. See us get fucked up by pandas.
The panda, over and over.
The same panda.
I mean, it was a panda and a group of his lackeys. I mean, it wasn't just the one panda.
It was that tornado asshole.
Yeah, it was that big old man. Next Monday, we're still up in the air about what's going up because we have a big weekend coming up, guys. Today is Friday at the time you're seeing this, the 24th.
Yep.
And tomorrow, the 25th, we are doing our Roommates Gaming seasonal event, Winter Olympics. Of course, we're going to have the nice 5 events that we'll be going through starting around 8:30, 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, around probably like 8:39.
Okay. Of course, keep up with us on Twitter and Instagram, and that'll be over on twitch.tv/roommatesgaming. You can catch us there. If we have anything to say between now and then about it, we'll let you guys know. Jump into our Discord, talk to us beforehand, talk to us afterward, talk to us, period. We thrive on attention. The link to that is, most of us do.
We need it.
The link to that is below this video. You'll also find links to our Instagram page, our Facebook, our Twitter, all of our socials, all that good stuff. And if you're blind, or you don't like the video version, you can find our audio over on iTunes, Spotify, Google, Anchor, pretty much everywhere.
Hell of a segue.
Hell of a segue.
We're all inclusive here.
Yeah, we are.
If you don't like video or you're blind.
Yeah. And for our deaf listeners, we are considering publishing in Braille, but it takes a lot for us to do that.
Yeah, sending it out to your home so you can be like, fuck yeah.
We actually found somebody who used to make wax cylinders. And we're like, hey, bro, can you hook us up? And he's like, it doesn't work the same way. I don't understand why, but that's just me being ignorant. I need to learn these things. So with all that being said, and me earning an extra seat for myself in hell, I guess that's everything.
Yeah, time for the real deal.
Time for the real deal.
All right, now let's do the real intro.
All right, let's go for it. Eric.
Oh my God.
One of these days we're going to catch you guys off guard, and Eric's just going to come in all peppy and just
like, hey guys, welcome to back.
Drop the whole deal. There it is.
He's got an image to uphold.
Yes, exactly.
He's got to be the cantankerous old man.
I've got 3 kids, and you are crankier than
If you want me to be peppy, just wait until after.
2 beers? Wait for 3 beers?
Until after the podcast.
4 beers.
There we go.
You have a problem.
No, I've got it pretty figured out. I see 4 beers, I drink 4. I see 4 beers, I drink 4 bears. It's a pretty easy
If you're going to have 4 beers, you might as well have 8.
Well, I don't have 8.
You might as well have 12 beers.
The problem is I don't have 8 or 12 beers.
There's a mini fridge right over there.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Conveniently in the studio because I care about my friends. And I want them to be comfortable in our space.
So, anyways.
Oh, one more thing.
Okay, yeah.
We should be excited because next week on Hard at Play, we might have our first guest.
Oh, yeah, right.
And we're excited about this. Hopefully everything comes through. If you would like to be part of this with us, join the Discord and reach out to us. We're pretty excited about the whole thing. Or just PM me or Josh, and we can work out details for bringing you guys in, because we'd love to have extra thoughts, extra opinions, especially on Sausage Tray. Hopefully we can have that come around.
Someone from outside the usual circle to have hopefully better discourse than we normally do.
Yeah.
But yeah, even on Discord, we take topics and stuff like that and just discussions anyway. So even if you don't want to be part of an episode because you don't live near us per se, but you can always give us discussion topics, things that you're interested in us talking about, or and we'll obviously shout you out if you happen to mention the topic. I think we have a few topics
we
submitted.
But we you may not hear us covered in the first or second week following when you send it to us, but we do bank them, and we will come back to it basically when we have a period where there's no news, like Sony backing out of E3 and all that shit, and everything getting delayed. Yeah, so if it's hard to play topic,
the important things
come
didn't get
across
delayed.
Something important got delayed. A couple important things got delayed. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to say. Be part of the conversation. Throw us some topics. And if you're interested in joining us for anything, we'd love to see you guys and talk to you. So let us know.
Yep. Speaking of delays, this goes into the hype. Choo choo discussion. So obviously, I've talked about it in person, on camera. I was super excited about Cyberpunk. It got delayed.
Yep.
I haven't gone on a killing spree yet, but it's yet. But I wanted to talk about hype today, and just, is it good? Is there too much of it? Is it bad? Like, when does the line draw? Is there too much hype going on? Like, is there a fatigue in hype? Are like companies trying to like give us little bits to keep the hype going? Or, now that we're connected to developers or like movie studios or artists themselves, like even musicians, you can get hyped about. Normally, if I see like a little thing from Dance Gavin that they've made a new song, I'm like, that means a new album's coming, baby. Let's go.
Yay.
But all things you can get hyped about. People get hyped about sports. I mean, the Super Bowl was next month?
It's 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away. So, and you know how crazy people get about sports. So I just wanted to talk about hype and different genres that we all follow. But so there's the jumping board.
Okay.
Let's discuss.
You want to start?
Yeah, there certainly is hype. That confirmed. There is hype.
Well, is it bad to be hyped? Is it like, because you, like, for example, this isn't a gaming one, but both of you have a lot more invested, like, from your past and wanting it more about Final Fantasy VII. Granted, it wasn't delayed like half the year like my game was.
Yeah.
It was only delayed a month.
Doesn't matter. My game of the year hasn't been delayed yet.
Yeah, neither is mine. So,
well, wow, just throwing away Final Fantasy VII.
I'm not throwing it away.
Bro, The Last of Us 2 comes out this year, and I'm saying that shit ain't my game of the year. That got delayed already.
What is your game of the year?
Fucking Animal Crossing, dude. New Horizon.
Animal Crossing New Horizon, Neo 2. We've discussed this.
Yeah.
All right.
You understand how long I've been waiting to fucking trade bells and turnips?
You play Stardew Valley. It's like the same.
It's not.
It's not the same.
It's Harvest Moon with different steps.
Stardew works on your calendar. Animal Crossing plays itself, and then they yell at you. They're like, "Look at all these weeds! You haven't been around to maintain the town." Like,
and then you feel guilty, and it's the only game you play.
yeah, they guilt you into it, and you're like, maybe your little squirrel ass could be doing some work, but no.
Why do I got to do everything?
Exactly. Well, so with the issue with hype is, if you look at something like Final Fantasy specifically, that is, and this isn't going to be a gaming focused podcast. This is a hype topic, right? So we'll start with Final Fantasy VII, right? That game has the remake has been expected for, like we talked about on the last, or one of the last, several of the last, probably every episode of Hard to Play so far.
To throw in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, it's like a bit topic. It's a recurring point.
It will be until it's finished.
It's been expected since that tech demo for PS3 came out, right? And it was announced officially for PS4 back in 2015.
I think 15.
The year of dreams. Yeah. So they made that announcement in 2015 at E3, and it was like 2-3 months later, pre-orders opened up for that. So with that being said, I want to dive into the poison of hype to start with, right?
Yeah.
Because, hey, here's this thing that you all want. Fuck yeah, we're excited. You have no idea when it's coming out. We don't know when you guys are going to have it. All right, just keep us posted. We're taking pre-orders.
But when's it come?
When, like, I'm just giving you money for something I never know when to expect. If you look at Kickstarter, right? It's all good. Nice knee. Every time you kickstart a project, it says expected ship date blank, right? They have to give you that information as the provider of that source, of that resource, right? Whatever you're buying, with that product or good. So the fact that the fact that major publishers for film and video games, books, all media, right, that they aren't regulated on that they can say, hey, we have this product coming. We won't tell you when to expect it. It's in the early stages of development, but we want your $60 now to make sure you get a copy. That's where I have a problem with it, because they show off those purely CG trailers that we understand to be CG trailers, and those purely off the wall expectations to say, hey, this is coming. Go ahead and buy it. If you're a consumer that has that sort of fluid income that you can just go dispose of it and be like, all right, so whenever this comes out, it's mine. I've already paid for it. That's cool. But to drive up hype to get base funding without saying we're basically crowdfunding this to start, I think that's where the problem starts, right? And also, when you announce something that early, that's when people start developing opinions of it and rumors about it and assumptions about how the systems are going to work and how this is going to perform.
A bunch of speculation.
Exactly. All you're going to do is shoot yourself in the foot, because you're going to have like, well, I heard from so-and-so that it's going to be like this. Well, I heard from so-and-so that it's going to be like this. And nobody knows shit. You're just talking in circles around a water cooler. And if that's how we, was it the first episode of Sausage Trade when we came back, we talked about entitlement. I believe
the second episode, I think.
The second episode?
First. Yeah. I think it was the first episode.
Yeah, it was first.
Entitlement.
I think that's how that whole stage kicks off, is if you make an announcement too early and you say, hey, there's this thing that you want that, we're going to start developing. People have that much time of radio silence to come up with any sort of assumption for it. And that's where bad hype happens.
Yeah.
Like, that's entirely where I think bad hype starts. Now, excuse me, I am personally a huge fan of shadow drops. Like when Anthem came out and nobody knew about it, Respawn's like, hey, we made this awesome game. Go check it out. And their servers crashed because people were jumping on it, and it was a lot of fun. And I think that's cool. I think trailer drops for something like this comes out in 2 months. This comes out in 3 months. We've made it. That's cool. Like, I like that. I think that's a different mode of hype, because that gets people excited for something that's ready and done. And there's a lot less time for people to go, oh, I hope it's like this. Oh, I hope it's like this. They're more shocked on, man, I'm getting this thing that I want. I'm getting it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like with being a long time Fallout fan, when they did that for Fallout 4, rest in peace, Fallout. Like Fallout 4, Fallout 4, they announced at that E3 that same year that it came out. But like, even that short amount of window, I think you still have enough time to like badly assume or get wrong information, because there's always leaks, fake leaks, good leaks. And sometimes it's hard to like track down everything. You could go on Reddit and, track them down or get told from some other news outlet that you may read about gaming or something like that, or even for like movies, like when like paparazzi will take like set photos that they're not supposed to, and they'll put them on the internet, or maybe an episode, or not an episode, an early screening got recorded or something like that, and they'll start leaking footage. And I think that all of that can help poison hype or make it get more out of control. Because I have to admit, I've been part of, I guess, bad hype. I may or
everybody has. That's me.
Or like even things that, or like reverse hype, I guess, like something like Kakarot. I was really not interested at all when I first saw anything about it, and it wasn't until like maybe December that I started going, this might be an interesting game, and I started looking into it, and like I didn't get myself hyped about it, but I feel like hype is like very much a double-edged sword.
It is.
You can have positive, like good hype, but I think companies need to. It's not really up to them. I guess it's more up to consumers to calm the fuck down. Because, like you said, speculation can wildly mess up your expectations for something, and sometimes it's hard to break past that barrier when you've already got in your mind, hey, I think this is how this game's going to turn out, and then you play it and you're like, why wasn't this game the way that I fucking thought in my head? What's wrong with you?
I'd say a solid like 90% of negative hype and those expectations, you're right, that's on the consumer. They need to calm the fuck down. I think that 10% of portion that falls back on the publisher or developer or the producing company, period, I think those are very memorable in all circumstances.
To be honest, I would say 90% is on the community not being able to let go of their expectations. 8% is on leakers. Any leaker, even if they're accurate leakers, any leaker is 8% responsible and only 2% on the publishers and developers.
I kind of threw the leakers into that. I agree with that.
I can't, because even when they say that this such and such leaked this and they are in the company in some position, I'm like, no, they're not. Yeah. There's some random jackass on the internet who made some fakes. That's all they are.
It's funny. Like if you think about Pokemon, right? There was a lot of bad hype there.
Yeah.
But the company was trying to control that. Like, I believe there was PR out there trying to control that. Like, we didn't say that. Like, we didn't say that game was this. Like,
something that would help the publisher end of it is if you know that you're going to an event and people are going to want to interview your people about such and such, either don't tie them to an NDA so they have to dance around the subject and say something stupid that everyone misconstrues, or actually have somebody there who's prepared to answer the questions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a simple, we can't talk about that right now, but there's more coming. That's what that line is for. And honestly, they need to utilize that in the best way.
Unfortunately, they're afraid of how people will respond to them going, we're not going to tell you.
Yeah. Like,
because essentially that's what it's politely saying, we're not going to tell you.
That's exactly what it is. And I mean, for a development cycle, that's fair. And if somebody doesn't agree with that, then that's on the community. And it is one of those things where community just sucks.
But unfortunately, the producers and developers are responding to what the people giving them money when the product is done think.
So I like those addressing topics, and like you can't discuss that right now, or just giving topics or just giving answers the public purely doesn't like. I prefer that to the way Hello Games handled No Man's Sky.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
He basically was just like, "Yep."
He said yes to literally any question.
He was just smiling, yeah, that works.
That's why I feel like it's more for like certain like producers of games or developers of games. I don't think they should be allowed to answer questions.
No,
granted,
they should be there because
it is
they
about
are the
their
face.
game, but I feel like they should have some sort of representative that they've told key points.
They should have
too.
some kind of PR rep
So,
there.
because a lot of times, like we've seen it through other events or something, or live events where developers are, still kind of nerdy, shy people.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of like, well, this is my game. I hope you guys like it.
Some of them want to say something about their game, but they know they can't say specific stuff.
They shouldn't be behind an interviewer being asked questions about.
There should be somebody there.
This is what is in this game. This is this in the game, and them with that same reaction. Somewhat.
There should be somebody there who's comfortable talking around an NDA.
Well, there's the thing. Like for most of these live stage demos and stuff like this, these arrangement things, especially through Nintendo, because Nintendo holds most of their stuff to Treehouse or several outside vendors. It's all scripted when you really think about it, because even like late night TV show interviews, they know what they can ask. Yeah. They have a list of approved questions. And
most of the time they dress rehearse before they actually.
Yeah. Like they've run this shit down. Yeah. Like they know what to expect. And it's that one, all it takes is one off the wall question from an attendee or somebody in media that wasn't prone to these questions before, or they didn't know about these questions approved beforehand. That one off the wall to just wreck everything. So, and you're right, that's a problem with, I'm not gonna call them out by name, but with Hello Games and the way they address things. I think we had before on the previous podcast. Yeah, it's the way Sean Murray handled things. It was completely wrong. Where he just smiles like, yeah, that works. That's good. Like, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
Like,
and then that game comes out and it's nothing.
Yep.
Like,
it's a big old empty.
But bare minimum. It's taken them 2 or 3 years to finally get some.
I will give them credit where credit is due. They shut up, sat down, and worked on making that game what they promised.
That is true. They put on them bootstraps and got to fucking work. And I mean, that's pretty cool. But that could have been avoided if
it could have been avoided.
He talked better about what.
Yep. But honestly, if I'm not saying him straight up lying about his game was the best course of action, but I honestly think if he had been honest from the get-go, nobody would have bought it and it wouldn't be what it is today.
I think you're right. You're exactly right.
Probably true.
It took Big Daddy Community to spank him and say, "You sit down and do your homework and don't say shit."
Because everyone bought the game and it's like, well, we've got all this money and a huge negative image. Let's fix that.
Yeah, and I'm thankful they did that. That's the right way to handle that, instead of being like other major publishers and developers that are like, all right, we got all this. I'm not gonna say it. We got all this
Activision
money and a negative image, and we're just gonna run with it because it's out there. Fuck it. Like, we don't have to worry about it.
The whole fiasco with Anthem, the director or whoever was lead producer was like, no, EA's still letting us, do everything.
A game that was still 2 years out, just going, fuck it, we're making it.
EA still wants us to keep going. It's not dead in the water. Trust us, it's not dead in the water. It's not dead in the water, as EA is shooting it with a shotgun. It's dead in the water.
Yeah. And a lesser extent, 76. Right.
Yeah.
A much lesser extent than Anthem, but still.
Yeah. 76 has its issues too, man.
Yeah.
But at least they've tried to improve it. But each time they do, they wind up taking 2 steps back. Yeah. They take a step forward to fix something. And then you're you activated 2 more bugs.
Yep.
This game is hot garbage. I don't think you can fix it.
Well, we can fix it if you pay us a monthly subscription.
God, that was dumb.
The problem to me with that game is the game is built off of the architecture of Fallout 4.
Legit, it is 4.
It's almost copy and pasted, which isn't how it works. I understand that. But
it almost works exactly like that, though, for this game specifically.
Yeah, I watched a documentary about the road to 76. It's on YouTube, and it's about 50 minutes long. It's really good and informative. This guy does stuff like this. But basically, while they were developing 4, they were just messing around and were trying to add in co-op to it, but it didn't quite work. But Todd Howard was like, this is fun. This has potential. Keep working on it. So the whole frame and infrastructure of 76 was literally 4.
Yep.
It's literally 4, but then they went, let's go take this somewhere else. We're gonna finish 4.
And point of fact to my statement. I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Fallout games and the Elder Scrolls games have always had a large modding community. So much so that with each game, Bethesda releases a mod kit for it, so you could just make mods for the game. How do you think that works on an online game that's architecture is ripped straight out of one of those games?
Yep.
It doesn't work well.
Yeah, I saw something where like someone had spawned in, like on the PC version, had spawned in the Pridwin from 4 in 76. Those assets from 4,
no
with
tweaking or anything.
Those assets from 4 are in 76, and they just spawned the Pridwin in online with other people playing. Like, what the fuck's the Pridwin doing here? And I was like, ooh, 76. You should just take it out back and kill it now. There's no hope.
It would have been a way better game if they had not ripped. If when they decided to make it a separate game, not continue to just build it on the architecture of Fallout 4.
Right. It's hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about hype without talking about entitlement. Like those two things almost go hand in hand.
Yeah.
My and me personally, my biggest thing about hype and the reason why I try to stay away from it as much as I do is that I don't like the entitlement that comes with it. I don't like being hyped for something and then it comes out and hitting that point where I'm like, this was way better in my head. Yeah. I hate that feeling. And I only have myself to blame at that point. So I just refuse.
Yeah, that totally happens.
It's a very good thing of you to say. Like, being aware of that is a very good thing.
It does suck too. Like technically I got on the hype train for 76, but just because the idea was very cool and I like would watch people play it or talk about it. And I'm like, the way that they're talking about it does sound like it could be better. They're only playing alphas right now. These testers are playing alpha builds. But then you like hindsight, I was like, well, the game's only like a month away. If that's the alpha build, that means that just like with Anthem, we played the alpha demo and the beta demo, and that was the game.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
By and large, if there's an alpha build of the game that's playable, that's the game.
That was my 1 hour of multiplayer for 2019. That's what I put in the Discord to play with you guys. I'm like, I think this is broken. I think I played more than that.
But yeah, like I fell for it, but more so I love Fallout and I wanted it to be good. Like I bought the collector's edition and that was a big shoot in the face. Like
everything about
that canvas 76. Bag looked cool as shit. Actually, it's a little plastic tarp bullshit. Here's $5 in the store for replacing that. What the fuck do you mean?
Everything about the build up to 76 launching was just a train wreck.
And the thing that sucks is like they gave those additions to like influencers beforehand, and they actually showed off those nice canvas bags.
Yeah.
Where are our canvas bags? Oh, it costs too much money for them to do that. They already sent basically what they had to all these influencers. Time for all the scrubs to get these cheap, basically tarp things.
You would think that before they made a commitment to send those out, they would say, all right, so we're sticking with the $200 price model, right? So if it costs us $14 to make a bag and we're selling it at this model or this price model of $200 and yada, 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 like you'd think somebody would come along and be like, yo, this don't work.
Yeah, for real.
I'm honestly really surprised they didn't go to court over that.
I'm amazed. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see it come up later because it's still like technically within a period where they could. If somebody filed within 1 year, it could go class action and you could be hit with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It may have gone class action. I don't. Maybe they.
That could have been their buyout is giving people that $5 credit because they're. Without getting into legal issues, there is technically a way to avoid stuff like that if you make amends in a different way that is fiscal. So if they gave that $5 credit to everybody, that is a $5 refund for use at their personal locations, and that counts as an act of good faith or act of goodwill. So. Which is horseshit.
Yeah, because the act of goodwill should have been biting the bullet, making the canvas bags, and sending them out to the people that earned them.
Yeah, but they weren't going to do that. Instead, they're going to say, give us $10 a month for private service.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
they did that with the collector's edition for 4. The Pip-Boy, they only did so many, and people still wanted them.
Yeah.
So they went back and talked to the company who was making them for them and was like, how much money would it cost to make another like 100 of these? And they did it. They went, we'll bite the bullet and make another round of these so you can have these editions, as we didn't realize that everybody wanted this fucking edition.
We didn't realize everyone wanted their own Pit Boy.
Yeah.
We never saw it coming.
Nope. People have been making their own Pit Boys since like the original Fallouts.
Yeah. What do you mean they sold out overnight?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the second they sold out overnight, I'd be like, well, get another going.
I remember Josh refreshing the fucking browser. Like, is it ready? Is it going? Is it going? I got it.
But yeah, like a part of me thinks that like all of that was like an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Like they saw how much were getting pre-ordered, how fast, and they were like, boys, the hype's real.
Yep.
Let's make more money. And that is another thing. I feel like the companies know that the community is trash and will
I would believe
hook, line, and sinker on hype.
Yeah, I'm
just like that.
I'm sure the faces of any given developer or publisher is very aware of what their community is like.
Mm-hmm.
Like another hype, switching to movies, like Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland, just to say those two because they're the biggest leakers. I feel like part of what they do and accidentally slip, sometime, it might be like Mark Ruffalo accidentally live streaming part of the Thor Ragnarok in his pocket. Like it wasn't like he was looking, it was like in his pocket playing and he just turned off his phone. He forgot to turn off his phone. That I could be seeing a slip up, but like when like Tom Holland's like on Instagram and like talking about something and then he like, turns and there's the script for Far From Home. Those are definitely planned by Marvel to get people hyped.
Planned hype.
Yeah, planned hype. And I feel like companies know it works. And I feel like it's a bit toxic because it's...
Yeah, they know it works.
But it's made the community more toxic. Like getting hyped about these things. They know that they can like push and prod or like slip things past and get the community hyped. And I feel like that hurts the community as a large when you do forced hype.
Yeah.
In some ways.
In some ways. Like obviously sometimes it doesn't get out of hand. But a lot of times it can get out of hand just because the communities for a lot of stuff just can be so toxic and garbage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But like, I don't know what I'm trying to like. I feel like hype can be good and it is not a needed thing, but it's nice to have when you can get excited about something, but it is on you as the consumer of said media or good or anything like that. It is your right. It is your duty. It is your duty to calm the fuck down. Like to know where the limit is.
Yeah.
Like
it's fine to be excited for a thing you really enjoy. It is not fine to go, all right, well, it's gotta have this, it's gotta have this, it's gotta have this.
Yeah.
Because it might not have those.
No, it's okay for you to say, I hope it has this. I hope it has this. But to hold a company, and we discussed this before, to hold a company to a standard that they never agreed to or specifically set, that's not fair. Like that's not good.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, if you jumping on the movies, if we found out that The Cursed Child was going to become like a live action movie, right? There's a huge Harry Potter hype for a lot of people, right? And those movies are praised. If they decided to make that stage play into an actual film, there'd be hype for it. There would also be a lot of people who are up in arms about what they expect from it. And that comes with the territory of people have, and I don't want to say people, but the community feels that it has owned this for a period of time. That's why we haven't dove into Star Wars, people. Like we haven't done that yet. If you haven't noticed, the community feels like they own this property, right? They don't. But it's what they have come to love and to hold dear to them, right? And to introduce something that changes that is difficult. Games are a big way to look at that, but film and film and television and books are another huge way, or another huge section of media where people, they get excited about things.
Yep.
Rightly so. You have people who get excited about Fast and the Furious. Personally, I don't understand it anymore.
Nope.
But
If the next Fast and the Furious doesn't have a Toyota Supra, it's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
If they don't go to space in the next two movies.
If they don't have a Toyota Supra that flies through space, I don't want. Why even make another movie?
I mean, they added superheroes in Hobbs and Shaw, basically, so why not?
yeah, I mean, your next movie should really be going to the afterlife and bringing Paul Walker back. If you can't do that, don't make another one.
Like in the real world.
yeah, do it for real. Like,
summon a portal to hell, take his soul out of it.
yeah, Fast and Furious Diablo. Like, that's exactly what you need to do.
This is a better game than the one that they're making.
It really could. Yeah. How could they close the Game Awards with that piece of shit? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Here's a PS3 game coming out next year, bud.
Yeah, bad hype. So,
No, that's negative hype is what that is.
Yeah, that was them thinking, like the studio that made it, or like Universal, whoever owns.
they had to pay a lot of money to get that out there.
Yeah, Fast and the Furious going, oh, this is going to be a cool game. People love Fast and the Furious. I bet the gaming community is totally, meshes with Fast and the Furious so well.
Someone who's never made a game in their life.
Oh, never played a game.
Never played a game.
Yeah,
in their
some
life.
executive that has never even like attempted to try to listen to this community or even like watch the community and be like, if we throw Vin Diesel and
My brother used to
The
play
other
Need for
one-
Speed Underground. That looked cool.
Yeah.
If we just do that, but with a story mode.
if we throw them out on the stage, people will love that shit. And then everybody in the audience was
If they
like,
had made a game that was on the same production standard as the actual movies, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and even that's slipping. But like,
yeah, because who the fuck wants that?
yeah, it's just, man. It's hard to think about.
Actually, no, I take that back. That the game was probably made with the exact same production standard as the newer movies, because the production standard of the newer movies is, well, if we get a bunch of nice looking cars, we don't have to worry about a story.
Yep.
And with the game, it was, well, if we put these two celebrities on stage and show you a bunch of nice cars, we don't have to worry about making a game.
It's funny how like most of hype is sleight of hand. Like when you think about it, because they showed off that game, which they know is horseshit, and is entirely an advertisement to get you interested in the Fast and Furious series, which, by the way, as per leaks that came out this week, again, leaks, there is like an Ultimate Ride, like Blu-ray and 4K collection coming out of all of these titles. And
Should have called it one last
kind of, no, they're never gonna stop. So like, it's all about timing, right? On how get people excited about thing A, and it'll turn them to thing B.
Yeah.
And it's funny when that works out in ways that people don't plan or think about. When you mentioned this topic, and I'm like, I was already thinking about this for a very specific reason. The Witcher on Netflix, like. That show is not connected to the games.
Nope.
Like they're very clear about it, even though there is a fight scene in one of the episodes that is almost frame by frame from the first game. Almost frame by frame.
And more of the, like some of the apparently some of the bath scenes for Geralt were put into there because
Witcher 3,
because of the Witcher 3, because Henry Cavill has played that game like a lot of times and have beaten it, and is like, I love this game.
Yeah.
We got to put stuff from the game in. I know but a little homages. We got to.
He had like 4 different voices that he tested out, and he's like, none of these fit. This isn't Geralt, like, because he was a fan of the games.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how that just goes hand in hand, right? But those two things aren't connected. And when the Witcher series got announced by Netflix, they were very transparent the whole time. Like, these aren't based on the games. These are based on the book series, like the short stories. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. I never read them. Kind of want to, but I'll see how it goes. We'll see what it's like. And then they announced Cavill. And I'm like, all right, Superman, that's cool. Like, that didn't sell me very well, to be honest. And I didn't know what to expect. And then they did those first couple of tease shots of him in the makeup with the hair
without
and
any
everything.
post or anything.
Yeah, just like drinking the potion and walking away, and like I still wasn't sold on it.
Nope.
And then the show, it was like a month or 2 months before the show actually hit. They dropped a full length trailer, and I'm like,
That's what got me.
yeah. I'm like, I'm starting to feel this now because that was pretty good. And then my wife and I sat down. My wife didn't know anything about The Witcher. Like, she'd seen me play the games a little bit.
She just saw Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill in a bathtub. Fuck yeah, we're in on this. We're going for it. So I'm like, all right. We absolutely destroyed that series in like 3 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
I went out to hang out with some friends and saw the last half. Well, actually more like the last 75% of the last episode.
Right.
Came home and went, all right, so we're gonna watch that, right?
Yeah.
We legitimately after being here after a podcast, we went home that night and cranked out half the season.
Yep.
After recording the podcast, which we do it like at night, we went home and with JT or the other roommate who also is part of our channel, we
wait, hang on. So roommates gaming, you called it roommates gaming because there are roommates?
Oh shit!
And we play games together? I just now got that.
It clicks.
I was today years old.
I was today years old when I figured out.
It's called a joke.
So with that being said, we're not all roommates. No. I don't live with them. Stop asking.
No, we all live in some weird house.
Some weird extra dimensional house.
That has weird different rooms.
It has a city and streets.
That has weird rooms that look like apartment buildings. Ones that look like a 2-story house over here, a 3-story house over here.
Rent is expensive. Send us money.
It's more of a medieval keep. But we call it a house.
This is all a set.
There are birds everywhere.
We are paid actors and we do not know each other in real life.
Yeah, just check this wall.
It just falls over. Oh shit, Justin.
I didn't expect that. That's a load-bearing wall. So yeah, I remember that because I had just finished it and we went to record gameplay. And I was over at the apartment, and you said that you had saw it at some friends, and I'm like, I'm not gonna talk about it then, but yeah, it's good. And then you guys dove into it, and the whole time watching, I'm like, I want to play The Witcher. I want to play The Witcher real bad. I want to go buy The Witcher on Switch and then sit here and play it on Switch while I'm watching the show.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't owned The Witcher 3 up until The Witcher on Netflix came out, and now I own The Witcher 3.
PS4.
Yeah.
It's so good. So yeah.
So I guess I'm playing straight into what you're trying to get out, but we keep derailing it.
Yeah, so I got back into The Witcher, and Josh did too.
Yep.
And apparently Eric did.
For a little while.
JT also got it.
Yeah, JT also.
And
he got it for
did
the PC.
What was it, 16 million people or something like that?
Yeah.
Steam reported that The Witcher 3 became the #1 played game on their platform.
That is amazing.
And it came out 5 years ago.
For a game as old as it is, that
2016?
I think it may have been 2016, maybe.
Yeah. For a game
maybe
that
20,
old, it is the perfect example of what hype can do.
Yeah. And
good hype.
And they're not connected. That's there is the underlying, it's the same characters.
More or less, it's the same story.
Same world, but this takes a lot of, the games take a lot of liberties because they break off.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're huge again, right? And that's just perfect timing. The Switch release of The Witcher 3, knowing that show was coming out, was fucking brilliant. All right, show comes out in December. All right, we're launching in October. Done. That just works. And there are sales on Steam.
Yeah,
The Witcher 3 Complete is on sale on Steam about every other week at this point.
Yeah,
and
honestly, PS4 had it on their holiday sale around the same time.
Yep.
I wonder how much money they made off of that.
Yeah,
I mean, it was only $13 or something it may have been 20 something.
It's going to be hilarious when we look at NDA for December 2019 and The Witcher 3 is right at the top of in January.
Yeah.
But the fact that game is as old as it is.
Yep.
And like at the price tag Sony was selling it for, they probably made a lot of money off of that.
Yeah. I mean, I would not be surprised. I have the game, and I went back and I bought I did this before the show came out, but I bought the expansion passes and everything so I could play the extra content because it's
I bought the complete
good.
edition.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
And that's just it. Like, I have thought about diving back into that game, but had the show not come out and hooked me the way it did, wouldn't have jumped back on it.
Same, because
I had completely forgotten about it until the show came out.
Yeah, because I bought it like when it came out, and I went ahead and like bought the full edition.
Yeah, because me and you were playing together.
Because I knew that I was gonna like play this game, and I was like, if it's got season pass, whatever, I'll know I'm interested in those expansions. Fuck it, let's go. Because my first Witcher was 2. I didn't really beat it, but that was my first intro into Witcher, and I was like, this is a pretty neat franchise. So when I saw Witcher 3, and I was like, well, CD Projekt Red makes some good games, and I like them. I'll definitely give them my money. And like they were like, yeah, for like the first month or so, we're gonna be like dropping like free content like every week and stuff. I'm like, okay, let's go. Yep. But like since then, I hadn't played it, and like I've always wanted to, but I'm like, it's such a big game to just jump right back into when I've been playing several other games and like different types of games. Am I ready for like an action RPG that I need to like invest time into? But I never went around to it. And as soon as The Witcher, like I saw The Witcher show, I was like, we got done watching the.
You could just hear the Witcher theme just in the background echoing in his head.
Like, no lie, that night after we were done, I went ahead.
You tossed a coin to your Witcher?
Yeah, I downloaded that game, and I was like, tomorrow I'm playing the bitch. Because I was all in. I was like, this is a pretty damn good show, and I'm gonna have to play with this. Really is. I want to fucking play Witcher. Let's go, boy. Yeah. I was all about it. Luckily, I already bought it, so I mean they didn't get any more of my money, but they still got me interested in The Witcher again. Which is
to be honest, when something is that good of a product. And I played it for about as long as I played it the first time I tried to play it, which is not long. I met
the Baron.
Yeah, Ciri's father. I can never remember his name.
Oh, Emir.
Yeah, I basically when you meet him and then you're basically set out upon the world. That's about as far as I've ever played the game, and that's exactly where I got to. I was set out upon the world and went, yeah, I want to play something else.
The Witcher 3 is one of those games that you specifically, at like the 15-20 hour mark, and that's pretty bad to say, but at the 15-20 hour mark, you specifically be like, all right, this is all I'm going to do now. Because like once you get Geralt to a certain like level and competency, it's like, all right, this is all I want to do.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I got to that exact same point, and I went, I don't have time for this.
Yep.
I want to have time for this, but I know I'm not going to have time for this. I'm just going to stop before I get hooked. And having never owned it until that point, I don't regret it. When a product's that good, I don't mind giving them money.
Yeah. It is. It's so good. And I feel the same way. Like if I don't finish this, I don't feel bad about the purchase.
And on the topic of hype, it's something I'm actually struggling with for Neo 2, Final Fantasy 7, Cyberpunk, and what's my fourth game? I always forget the fourth game. I'm buying 4 games in 2020. Neo 2, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy 7. Whatever that fourth one is.
What is that fourth?
Yeah, what is that fourth one? I always forget the fourth one.
Persona
5 Royal.
Persona 5 Royal.
But for all 4 of those games, I'm actually struggling with not getting hyped for them, because if I get too hyped for them, I'm just going to pre-order the Ultimate Edition of all of them.
Yeah, don't do that.
But here's the problem. I know all 4 of them are good enough products Final Fantasy VII still on the fence, but because it's just such an X factor.
Yeah.
There's no way to know what it's really going to be like until I actually get my hands on it. But for Neo 2, I know exactly what to expect from that game. They've had an alpha and a beta.
Yep.
I 100% know what I'm getting out of that game.
Yeah, I already committed to buying the deluxe version that comes with the season pass because the first game was awesome and the DLCs were fun.
Yeah,
and the fact that too that we can play with 3 people through story, I'm good.
You've heard
Neo,
me.
here's my money.
You've heard me on my soapbox in the apartment when it comes to Neo 2. You know there's no talking me out of pre-ordering the deluxe edition or whatever it is. But for Cyberpunk, I'm not sure. I know what I'm getting more or less. I know I'm basically getting The Witcher, but Cyberpunk.
Mostly me.
So I'm like, do I want to pre-order the deluxe edition, collector's edition, whatever they're calling it?
There's only 2 editions for that. The regular version, the regular version, and then a collector's edition that they're all sold out of, which came with a figure.
So that solves that problem.
That Samurai Bomber jacket's on sale on CD Projekt Red website though. Yeah, I shouldn't have told you that, but it's only like $60. I'll go up to 4X.
I'm not a 4X, but all right.
I'm under it. I fit in that size range.
All right,
from extra small to 4X.
Yep, I fit in that range. Let's go.
But
I'm fighting.
But for P5R and for Final Fantasy VII, for P5R, I've already played P5.
Right.
I never finished it, but I've played it.
Same.
300 hours, baby.
And I don't intend on finishing it just because I know P5R is coming out. I'm going to play the superior version to completion. Hopefully, God, I hope I do.
You won't. You're not going to put in.
Bet.
I bet you
There's
won't
a
put in.
superior version with more content. I'll be able to finish.
Well, the reason why I didn't finish the first one is because I got too distracted with other games.
Yeah.
But in 2020, I'm only playing 4, so I've got at the very least, I've got 3 months to beat each game.
I cannot wait until like the lead up weeks and E3 of this year. When they're just like announcing Eric's year of dreams.
As far as I know,
more games coming out this summer.
As far as I know, there's only two games that don't have a release date that could possibly come out in 2020 that I will buy. All
right, so I'm gonna just spitball a random thing here to see if I get on your hype. Ready?
Yeah.
Third person over the shoulder Earthworm Jim full ground up remaster.
No, thank you.
Really?
Earthworm Jim is no, thank you.
Really?
That's a big no, thank you.
I took a shot in the dark there for a dead franchise. I have no idea what your feelings on Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim's always been I see box art for Earthworm Jim and I go, but why?
All right, I'll sidestep to 2020 Clay Fighters.
Hell yeah.
No, if you want to go with something like that, it won't be a dead franchise. Because honestly, if it's a dead franchise at this point, I've buried and forgot it.
Metroid 4.
Legends of
never been a Metroid guy.
Legends of Dragoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. First of all, how did you know? How did you know since the announcement of Final Fantasy VII Remake? I've been going, God, I'd love a remake of Legends of Dragoon. That'd be so cool. That was such an interesting game.
That's my psychic power.
He was doing laundry and he pulled your pillowcase out. You're like, man, it's a Legend of Dragoon pillowcase.
So we're getting way off topic here, but I have only played Legends of Dragoon as a demo on way back in the day, PS2 era, like the demo discs you used to get in like just packages. Like they would sometimes they'd be bundled with games and whatnot. That's the only exposure to Legends of Dragoon I have, and it might be the best RPG I've ever played.
I've never played. That for me, that would be Chrono Trigger. Like if they announce a Chrono Trigger, like.
I mean, they're doing all them trials.
I don't necessarily. Those are the Mana games.
No, I'm saying they're doing all of those. They're remastering a bunch of them. So I don't. Chrono Trigger's right around the corner.
I don't know if I want a Chrono Trigger remaster, to be honest, because that game is so magical to me. But I would love to have some sort of direct sequel or follow up to it, like in a modern style. That'd be cool.
I thought there was isn't there another Chrono it takes place in the same universe?
There's Chrono Cross and it's really weird. Yeah. It was on PS1. I mean, it's cool, but it doesn't hit the same. You know what I mean? But with that being said, I am playing Link's Awakening right now, and A Link to the Past is my favorite Zelda game. Those top down isometric Zeldas are my thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm playing Link's Awakening right now for the first time. I'm playing it on Switch, and this might be in my top 3 Zelda games of all time now. Like, it might have just like, all right, Ocarina, go fuck yourself. Like, it's good. I like it a lot, and I don't know. It kind of changed my opinion on how I feel about messing with those old titles, because I used to be like, no, it's not broke, don't touch it, like, leave it alone. But the way they add in multi-directional navigation and like just minor changes with the menu and everything else, like, it's a love letter to what they used to be, but it captures them so well that, yeah, I'm hyped for it.
Just give me a different art style.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, like, I really like that art style,
dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, I rented the game, and it's got to go back in 2 days. I got 3 dungeons left, and I'll have it beat tomorrow. But when I take it back, I'm gonna go buy it. Bet, because it's good, and I'm like, I want to have this as something that I can play again over and over and over.
So, going back to what would be sufficient enough hype just to pretend that I'm on topic. Going back to what you were trying to do there, digging up dead franchises. The only thing I can think of that throws, other than the 2 games that I already know, like, if these do release in 2020, I will be buying them, but I don't know yet. So it's 4 games. I got 4 games right now. But if somebody really wanted to throw a wrench into those plans, it would be Capcom with a Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. That would throw a wrench into my plans real bad.
So you would want a special extended edition of Persona 5 and a special edition of...
He's addicted to Devil May Cry.
Here's the thing with the special editions. Since 3, they've had a kind of a tradition with the special editions. They give you the exact same game, but I can play as Virgil.
And he's an edgelord weeb.
So on top of all that, if they introduced Neo 1 Special Edition, but it has 3-player co-op full story.
Neo 2.
Only in that.
See, Neo 2 still holds ground over that, because in Neo 2 I can make my own character.
What if Neo 2 gameplay and the actual game sucks?
Well, since we've played both,
like I said, I've had an alpha and a beta to know exactly what I'm getting out of this game.
Story sucks.
That's impossible. It's the Warring States period. It's impossible to have a sucky story in that period.
Well, I was gonna say also,
I like how protective you are of this.
I was gonna say also, I think the story doesn't matter.
Yeah, the story really doesn't matter.
It's just next map to next map. Yeah. You're killing things and then leveling up. That's all it's about.
It's just bathe in the blood of your enemies and have fun.
I like it.
And get frustrated when you get murdered by a random archer you didn't see.
I like it. I do want to back up and get back on the hype topic.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That was all about hype.
It was about hype. It was very, very extendedly about hype. I did mention that the show made me want The Witcher. It made me want to play the games, but it's also made me want to read the books. Yeah. Right. And that's something that I think is good hype when you get a franchise or a media product that inspires you to explore other avenues of that media product.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Thank you, Hideo Kojima, for Death Stranding and expanding my musical library to include Low Roar.
Yeah.
And Churches.
And fucking the movies that have inspired that game specifically. You're like, well, I might want to check these out. Like, I follow him on.
He's a one-man hype train.
Yeah, like, I follow him on Instagram, and he is always throwing out movie suggestions and shit like that. I'm
what do you call those like old railroad things that you push up? That's fucking Hideo Kojima. Like, he's on his own his railroad cart. He's on his own little railroad cart of hype. Like, I like this movie. Y'all should like it too. Yo, like, it's all he's doing.
Yo,
and
I am Kojima, like the things that I like.
Dude, you follow his Instagram and Twitter and stuff. It's like, it's magical just how much appreciation he gives things. Mm-hmm. It's like an entire community for media fans and support and haters, leakers, everything. Just strive to be more like Hideo Kojima, because he'll be like, I saw this movie today from a small independent studio and it was awesome. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Or I saw this. Go check it out.
He has a big appreciation for the arts,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
And that's one thing that's hard to find in entertainment media now, right? And I'm discovering that more and more the more we do this.
Mhm.
But for years I've been reading articles from Radar and IGN and everywhere, right? About, reviews for this game or opinion articles or op-eds and things like that. And I can tell you on those major, I like to read and see people's opinions of different things. I don't really necessarily take it into account for my idea when I'm looking at games or movies or things like that.
Interested in what other people have
Exactly.
to say.
But there are three or five authors across all those sites across 15 years that I know their writing style, right? And the things they look at and the way they champion it, even if they have opinions of how it lacked or what it could have done differently, the way they put appreciation into that medium, that's good. That's a good way to promote hype. Now, if you're pushing an idea like, hey, I really like this movie, y'all should check it out, and it turns out to be weird and or awful in most other people's opinions, that's still not a bad thing. You still enjoyed something. You should take pride in the fact that you enjoyed it. Have you guys heard about The Lighthouse?
Yeah, I really wanted to see it. It looked very interesting from the first trailer I saw. It was all...
It looks like a movie I will respectfully appreciate from afar.
So
it's all black and white, and it's got Willem Dafoe and
yeah, you can't get it in Blu-ray. I don't know that.
new Batman.
Yeah,
New Batman.
Robert Pattinson.
Right, yeah, that's his name.
So I bought it the other night, because I do that Google rewards thing. So it follows me around and asks me for surveys, and I say yes or no. I bought something here. I didn't buy something. No, I don't have my receipt. No, I'm not sending it to you. And they'll give me like 30 or 40 cents for each one of those. So every day I make like 75 cents to $1 just filling out these receipts.
Uh-huh.
And I use that to rent or buy movies from the Google Movies app that we watch in our living room or whatever. I'll buy phone apps, and I used to buy Pokeballs on Go, but I slowed down with that. Anyway, I had heard such cool things about this movie, and I saw the trailer for it, and I'm like, that looks dope. Like, just taking a step back from the CGI and things that special effects that you see in film now, and making a black and white 2-man movie.
When I saw the
practical effects.
When I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, so this is like a stage production type kind of movie where it's like just two people and it's basically all monologues and dialogue between these two people. And I was like, I'm artsy about that. I'm into that. I would like to see that. I just hadn't watched it.
As a as an admirer of the arts, that movie's dope. As a human being with a functioning brain, dude, that movie's fucking weird. On so many levels, and we don't know what we watched at this point.
As a borderline robot who pretends to be human and has interests, I respectfully appreciate that movie from afar.
There's a naked mermaid in it.
Okay.
And
okay.
So I'm gonna go off the trails here for a minute, but I'm gonna get back to the hype. I just gotta give it some supporting context
on this train.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
you said it was a train. We were gonna derail it.
We're not conductors. We don't know how to work a train.
Crash into classic trolley scenario.
Yep.
Do we go down the track with one person we know or 4 random people?
I'm going to cross some lines over the next few minutes. I want to let everybody know that. So please skip ahead about 2 minutes if you don't want to be seriously offended. I just want to throw that out there now. Starting. Okay. So my wife and I are watching this, right? Mm-hmm. And there are only 5 people on the bill. 5 people on the cast. That's it. Right? Willem Dafoe, Robert Pattinson, and 3 others that you don't know. The entire hour and 50-minute movie is just these 2 dudes on an island. And how long they've been there together, like their interactions, the work they do. One of them's like over the other one for maintaining this lighthouse in like the mid 1800s or whatever, or the early 1800s, and I think it's whatever. Anyway, they both kind of start to go crazy, and at one point, there's like a hallucination about a mermaid, and there's intercourse with the mermaid. And so
Nice.
Dude fucked a manatee.
dude, the vagina is huge. Like it's so there's always like the understanding is that mermaids are half person and half fish, and it's not. It's actually two-fifths person and 2/5 fish and 1/5 vagina. Like it's just one gigantic vagina. And my wife, being who she is, made the statement like, I wonder if she swims faster if she queefs. And it made me happy in my marriage because that's who I am. But we're watching this movie. I'm like, if I wouldn't have seen the social media hype about all this, I wouldn't be having this moment that I'm always going to remember with my wife laughing and having this conversation. And as weird as that movie is, and I still don't know if I liked it or not, or what my opinion really is of it, but man, I appreciate the hell out of it. And I'm so thankful for like the absolute endorsement and championing that it got online. And I was right. 2 minutes. You're welcome back. So it's just one of those things where, you know, people see something, they appreciate it, and they put the right kind of hype out there. And like, yo, this was dope. Check it out. And I like that with books. I like that with this week. Or is it this week or the end of last week? Eminem's new album just like dropped.
Yeah, he just shadow dropped a new album.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yo, he just put out a new album, and it's word of mouth pushing this spread now.
Mm-hmm.
There was no advertising beforehand. And there is super hype over it, and it is an awesome album.
It's funny. That's actually a really good example of another way bad hype happens, because Eminem is quite the polarizing artist.
He is.
Yeah.
So
have
literally,
opinions about
as soon as it broke that he shadow dropped that album, immediately people were calling it trash because it's Eminem.
Well, I mean, those people are wrong.
I mean, they are. I haven't even listened to it, and I know they're wrong.
Yeah.
I may not even like the album, but I know it's not a bad album.
So I mean, it's one of those things, right? Like, people are going to have opinions of the publisher or the artist or whatever the deal is. We all have a fairly shared opinion of EA at this point, right? And when I say we, I mean like the people at this table in this podcast.
I have no limit to my respect for the companies under EA, but EA as a publisher can rot in hell.
There you go. And that's just, we still get hyped over some of the things that they put out, right? But most of the time we're going to have that bad taste in our mouth. And this is an EA product.
Yep.
And
that happened with Fallen Order,
which was a good game. It's a fun, good game.
I'm under the impression that Respawn's the only company that has whatever it takes whatever skill is required under EA to make a good game.
Yeah, they're great, and I think it's kind of because they get the option to step back a little bit, and they did anyway under Vincent Paula, but I don't think he's their lead anymore.
I haven't looked into that whole situation.
But I don't know. I like it when there is. That's what I was trying to say. I like it when there's good appreciation for something, no matter who it comes from or what the background is on it. Especially when it's something just out of left field, like that movie was, like The Lighthouse was.
It's the same thing that's been happening to me for like, because I keep seeing it on Twitter all the time. Is like, watch Parasite. Parasite's awesome. And people are like hyping the shit out of him. Like,
not the anime,
the Netflix series,
the movie. I think it is on Netflix or Amazon, whichever one. But it's a Japanese film. And everybody's like, it's fucking great. You got to watch it.
So when
I'm
you
like,
told me about
I really
it,
want to fucking watch this movie. Everybody's fucking like,
when you mentioned it last night, I like Googled it and like read the synopsis or whatever. Could not follow a goddamn thing.
It's funny.
I had to scroll back up and go, okay, so this character is this. So okay, so this character. Okay, I don't understand a goddamn thing.
It's funny that you mentioned that because we already said that's how we all got hyped up for The Witcher. Like, I mean, because we were all kind of on the fence about it, but everybody kept saying how good it was, and then we ended up watching it. But think about all the things that Netflix just like fucking shadow drops, and they turn out to be fantastic. Like Stranger Things is a great show.
Yep.
And we wouldn't have jumped on it had not we had heard through the grapevine that it was a good product that people appreciate.
Yeah.
Like, even if other people don't care for like this type of like media or whatever, but the Sabrina show
Sabrina was so
is
good.
dope as shit.
It is crazy dope.
It is really good, and I have really enjoyed it. And I'm like, I know that
I'm pretty sure there's a new season coming out too.
I know Riverdale is not going to be anything as close to good as this because they actually take place in the same universe.
I've seen clips and stills from Riverdale, and I just look at it, I'm like, this looks stupid.
Yeah, they cross it. Oh, it's a terrible train wreck teenage drama, and Courtney never misses an episode. Like, she's actually got a shirt from Pop's Chocolate Shop. One of her friends got her.
Wow.
It is fun and terrible to watch. You remember how we got into True Blood?
Yep.
Yeah. It's not that bad, but it's up there.
Talk about hype.
Yeah. Woo! So Josh and I were grilling burgers one day.
To this day, I don't understand how either one of you got into True Blood.
She was just watching it, and we were just.
Josh and I were grilling burgers one day. Lean back with this one. And my girlfriend at the time is inside saying, "While you guys cook, I'm gonna watch True Blood." And she's inside streaming it and watching the first season or whatever, or second season, wherever she was. And we didn't know anything about it.
Nope.
Like, we thought it was like whatever, Vampire Diaries or whatever.
Yeah, something on the same
stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
And we carry this tray of burgers inside, and we just hear this terrible, awful, fake Bayou accent. And we're like, "What are you watching?" She's like, "I told you guys, I'm watching True Blood." I'm
No,
like,
you're watching X-Men.
I'm like, what? And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What was that voice?" I'm like, "It takes place in Louisiana." Hold on a second. Both me and Josh had the same reaction. We're like, hold on a second. These are Bayou vampires? She's like, yeah. So Josh called out of work the next day. And we sat up all night eating burgers that we had just made and watching fucking Troop. We got through like, what, 2.5 seasons?
Yep. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. We should probably stop, right?
But God, like, we were hooked as soon as we started.
Yeah, God, that was fucking wild. Two is a day.
Episode 1, I'll eat you, and then I'll fuck you.
Okay, so that is an example. That is an example of good hype, I guess.
We still don't know.
We don't know. I don't even know if I enjoyed this show.
But here's the funny thing. That story serves as a good example of bad hype, because to this day I am 50% scared to ever watch an episode of it because I don't know what's going to happen once I do. And 50% going, no, that show's stupid. Be reasonable. You know it's dumb.
Jessica, yield to me.
You understand that it's dumb, but you still watch it.
And this is why I refuse to ever watch an episode.
And for years, like, we would watch it, and we'd get excited for the premiere season and everything. We watched it with Cameron and Maddie at Maddie's mom's. It was fucking hilarious. And it was so bad. Like, it's a train wreck that you can't look away from. You know it's going to be bad. You know you should have low standards. And you still go in, they're like, this is going to be awful. And at the end of the episode, you're like, I cannot believe they did that.
Yeah.
Why would they? Like,
what the fuck?
Yeah,
Bill, what the hell was that shit?
You get so ridiculously invested.
Here's the weird thing.
It's true.
Here's the weird thing about that. What you're describing sounds like exactly something I would watch, because as Josh is painfully aware of, I absolutely love bad movies and bad TV shows.
I know. I do too.
Like not even like stuff that's purposely bad. Like, they weren't intending on making this blockbuster thing that everyone's going to be talking about for the next 3 months. Just something they went, I got this dumb story in my head. I'm going to tell it. I love that shit. That sounds like one of those things I would like, but I refuse.
I think we might need to go ahead and just concrete next sausage tray to terrible media that we love. And the first 15 minutes will be Disco Path.
Oh my God.
No,
I am unendingly appreciative of you showing
that
me that.
movie is. We will repeat it verbatim, and that will be the podcast.
That's your homework, everybody.
Find it, hunt it down wherever it may
Watch
survive.
Disco Path.
Watch it.
We watched it.
We watched it together.
Yeah, you're the one who showed me it, and it's my favorite movie ever.
We've seen it twice together now.
Oh my God, it was so good.
It's so bad.
Justin,
It's Friday night. It's Friday night.
Justin,
Why? Why did he say that?
when I say that Star Wars is my favorite movie franchise ever, I always whisper at the end of that, except Disco Path.
Fine print.
Yeah, except Disco Path.
All right, so if you haven't seen it, look on Amazon Prime or Hulu, or just buy it on Amazon somewhere, anywhere you find it. Disco Path. And you're welcome. That's your homework for these 2 weeks.
It's so good.
You want to talk about hype? We're about to hype you up.
Yep.
Watch fucking Disco Path.
We used to have, and I don't know why we don't do this anymore because life got in the way and everything. We used to have bad, scary movie nights in September and October.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the absolute gems that me and Josh stumbled across, and it became a timeless classic for our friendship.
I love it.
That is just a movie that we all just will quote every now and then.
So
we'll
good.
just remember Disco Path.
It's up there with The Room. Like, it might be better than The Room.
It's definitely better than The Room.
The Room is just
Disco Path is the best overall movie I have ever seen.
It's not.
That is not hype. That is me just personally really liking it. I am not trying to hype it up at all. It is a terrible, horrible, dumb, stupid movie, and I love it so much.
Eric's seal of approval.
When you know I like something when I call it dumb stupid.
Go. We saw so many just awful movies that were great. We used to get together in friends' basements in my living room and watch bad movies. And that was...
Oh my God.
I think I know what you're thinking of.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Welcome to the portion of the podcast where we just giggle into the mics.
Duke, right?
Duke, yep. Duke.
We have been friends a long time.
Yep.
Oh
boy.
This was 12 years ago.
That movie.
God damn. All right.
This has really gotten off the rails.
This has really gotten off the
Should
rails.
not be called
But no, we're reeling it back in. We create good hype for these things that people otherwise wouldn't know about.
True.
And
Hit us up in the Discord when you try to find any of the things we're talking about and you realize that we're stupid.
that is what I want to do. I want to give everybody homework. Number 1, watch Disco Path. Number 2,
watch Disco Path.
start throwing out bad things that you appreciate, like bad movies, terrible shows, things that are understandably bad, but that you love from memories like this or things of that nature. Throw it in the Discord, let us know so we can talk about it and actually watch it on our end.
Yeah, we will watch these shitty movies.
We
should
love it.
If this actually happens, I will actually go on record stating we should probably stream this kind of stuff.
We will. We couldn't get the rights to do that.
We don't have to show the actual movie.
I'll tell you what. For our friends in the area, if you guys get involved with this and we put together some really bad suggestions, if we hit 150 on follower count,
We'll stream it on Mixer so we don't have to worry about it because no one cares about Mixer.
for our local friends and followers, I will throw a bad movie party.
Hell yeah.
We'll do a watch party at my house. I'm going to regret that. But it's so fun.
We can stream the pregame. We can stream the postgame.
We'll make 8 pounds of pasta.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, man. I'm hyped about that.
Speaking of
hype. So I guess in the wind down for the topic, is there anything that you are currently hyped about?
Neo 2.
Next,
Well, all right, Eric's is already.
Yep.
And then
outside of video games.
Outside of video
we're gonna
games,
get
like-
off of video games.
yeah, we talk about video games too much.
It's like we do that for it's like a
I don't-
channel.
I don't understand the sentence you just said.
Yeah. Yes and no. It could be comic book fatigue. It could be like a part of me feels like
Excuse me.
the after Endgame, the Marvel Cinematic Universe slightly died in my heart. Not because, but it felt like a good end. Like there could be no more Marvels and I'd be cool. No more Marvel movies and I'd be fine with it. But I don't know why at all. Out of the two that have they've shown off with Black Widow and oh my god, Morbius.
Yeah.
At first, I was like more inclined to like Black Widow, but for some damn reason, I cannot get that movie out of my mind, and I really want to see it, and I have no fucking clue why. More like I feel like it's gonna be bad, just like Venom was.
Wait, are we talking about Black
Morbius?
Widow or Morbius?
Yeah, Morbius, Black Widow.
See,
Oh, yeah.
I'm the same way, and I know exactly why I'm hyped about it. Because when I saw the trailer, it reminded me of the Underworld series, a series full of bad movies I fucking love.
yeah, those movies
And it
are
reminded
bad,
me
but-
exactly of the Underworld series.
But like, there's just something about it. I'm like, I really want to fucking watch this movie.
It's that vulture hook.
I mean, that's got like that and like the Spider-Man thing. I'm like, I feel like maybe they're gonna go ahead and start their universe, and I do want to see what happens with this, but just like something is grabbing onto me like real hard, and I don't know why. And I'm like, but why though? This is
Yeah.
probably gonna not be good at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like maybe it's just, but I mean, technically it's still Marvel, but like. I'm interested in the Black Widow movie. It's not because it's about Black Widow or anything like that. It's just like, honestly, after
You'll watch
Endgame-
anything with ScarJo, I know.
Yes, I will. But after Endgame, I was just kind of like, all right, that's cool. This is done. We don't.
Yep.
I don't necessarily need
Don't
it.
need to go back.
It really was a really good period on everything.
Yeah, like, and I would like to see what WandaVision brings, and I'd like to see what Captain or Winter Soldier and the Falcon brings, but I just kind of like got that superhero fatigue. But when I saw the Morbius trailer, I was like, why do I want to watch this so bad?
For the same reason why the Underworld series is good.
I want to remind you that there can always be some sort of value after a period or a decimal point.
Well, I mean, there's always a continuation.
Yeah.
Just because there is a period doesn't mean, but like if they just decided, nah, that was
Yeah.
it, I'd be
I'd have been
okay.
fine with it.
I'd
Yeah,
be
be
fine.
fine with it too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm actually upset that this isn't the end of the Star Wars universe, to be honest. Like, I hope that it's the end of the timeline and that anything.
I think it's supposed to be the end of the Skywalker.
Yeah, it's supposed to be into the
line.
Skywalker
So
story.
they'll either go into the past or into the future next.
I mean, if you go in the
Not so long ago in a galaxy far,
if you
far
go
away.
into the future, you think there has to be some sort of tie over, that lore has to come up at some point.
I mean, they might.
Like
but yeah.
it's that'd be my.
I mean, there's a
my
lot of
concern there.
unused.
There's a
content.
whole lot, yeah. But
But yeah, that's what I'm hyped about. And Eric's hyped about Neo 2. You got anything you're hyped about?
believe it or not, the Lord of the Rings Amazon series actually looking
I
forward
had
to
not
that.
heard about that.
Yeah, Amazon Prime is getting a Lord of the Rings series that does not have to do with the Lord of the Rings books or the Hobbit books. And
You have no idea how much you just hyped it for me.
they're not, and also surprisingly surprised, they're not based on the Silmarillion
I was
either.
going to say, are they pulling from the Silmarillion?
Nope. They're kind of just pulling. So there is
that was a roller coaster.
Yeah, let's not try to go down.
There's a huge Tolkien lore that those books contribute to, but then his short stories contribute to as well. This is like extended universe stuff that they're building this world out of, and I'm like, that's dope. Like, because I mean, you're using some of these crossover character mentions, and you're using these areas and places, and it's there's a huge world for them to play with. I'm interested in seeing something that's not part of that direct world because, I mean, Shadow of Mordor was awesome when it came out, and it wasn't right up in the lore. You know what I mean? It was adjacent. I am also looking forward to a couple of different things. I think Sex Education just dropped on Netflix, and if you haven't watched that is a fun show. It's really, really funny about this awkward kid in high school who's a virgin, but his mom's a sex therapist.
Oh God!
And since everybody's in high school and has weird, awkward hormone things going on, and they're all getting fucked, he's walking them through their relationship issues and everything else and talking to him about ED and trying new things and whatever. And he's a virgin and he's really awkward, but it's so good. And his mom's played by Gillian Anderson. So it's really good. That is an English, like a European show, and it's great. I love it. So yeah, I mean, there's like a couple of things that I have as my comfort food that I kind of just sit back and enjoy and take in, and that's it. I don't want to get invested in anything for the foreseeable future. That's why I'm playing an old Link's Awakening and spending my time with that.
Yeah, like I said, I try very hard not to get hyped about stuff.
Yeah.
So the only thing I know I'm hyped for is Neo 2.
I don't want to get hyped about anything until, honestly, I want to see this spring. I want to see Q2 through. Staying away from the video game topic as heavily as I can, but I want to see what the rest of the year holds. And we won't see movie plans for this year or anything else until May, June. So seeing how the rest of the year plays out is what I'm kind of looking forward to.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, we've finally reached the destination. The hype train has ended. Shh, all passengers, please exit the
train. Derailed. Passengers died a long time ago.
Yeah, we're somewhere on fire.
Yeah.
The train is on fire, and the automated system is like, please enjoy your departure.
You have now made it to
You said it at the beginning that,
Bandits rated it. It's
Hard at Play is our structured professional podcast.
This is where we drink. And
this is where we drink and fuck around.
Yeah, but
we do thank you guys for joining us this week. It is always fun. We appreciate it. Again, throw us some topics, join our Discord and talk to us. If we don't necessarily have to talk about it in the show. If you just want to talk about it in the Discord, we're in there communicating with our friends every day. It's a lot of fun. We really enjoy it, and we hope you guys can be part of that. Leave us a comment down below, like and subscribe to the video. If you're listening on audio, do those things anyway. Just finish this and then
head over to our YouTube channel.
Well, get a friend that can see.
They've already made it. If they've already made it to this message, they've probably watched or they've probably listened to the whole thing.
Yeah. So now, head over to YouTube if you've just listened to it.
Give us 2 minutes. That's all you need. Put like 2 minutes in the background and we're good. We've broken the algorithm.
We're just gonna go ahead and this is the part of the podcast where we go ahead and do the normal like YouTube tagging that we would do, but because the YouTube algorithm is stupid, we're gonna do that now. So it's hashtag video games, hashtag Neo 2.
Oh God.
Hashtag.
All right, that's about enough of that.
All right, so if you were listening on audio, check us out on youtube.com/roommatesgaming. If you were listening on YouTube or watching with us, check out the audio over on Anchor, Google, Spotify, all those good things, iTunes, everywhere. Also, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord. It's all down there. Go check it out and join us. And make sure you pay attention and join us tomorrow night when we do our super fun Winter Olympic Games and compete in a bevy of different physical competitions using digital controllers and inputs. And we are going to have a blast.
Talk about hype.
Yeah. So we're excited. We appreciate you guys. I guess we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Again, I'm Josh, Justin, and Eric. Thanks.
All right, guys.
Thanks for joining the Sausage Tray. Bye.
Bye.
Step into frame and look into camera and say, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also check out these videos. And don't be an asshole.